Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Acknowledged.
Affirmative.
Affirmative.
Report. Affirmative.
Acknowledged.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Acknowledged.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
New construction options.
Yes, sir. Agreed.
Building.
Acknowledged. At once.
Construction complete. New construction options.
Awaiting
Agreed.
orders. Very well.
Building.
Agreed. Agreed. Affirmative. At once. Very well. Very well. Very well. Agreed. Very well. At once. Affirmative. 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 At once. Affirmative. Affirmative. Very well. Agreed. Agreed. Affirmative. Affirmative. Very well. Affirmative. 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 Yes, sir. At once. At once.
Construction complete. New construction options. Building. Insufficient funds.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Construction complete. New construction options. Building. On hold. Cancel. Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Acknowledged. Very well.
Unit ready. Building.
Comrade. Affirmative.
Insufficient funds.
Comrade.
Unit ready.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Building. Building. Construction complete. Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Construction complete. New construction options.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Building.
Yes, sir.
Reporting. Affirmative.
Waiting order.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Construction complete. New construction
Vehicle report.
options.
Affirmative.
Building. Repairing.
Reporting. Agreed.
Unit
Awaiting
repaired.
affirmative. Waiting order. Affirmative.
Construction complete. Repairing. Building. Unit repaired. Building.
Reporting. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Construction complete.
Yes, sir.
Awaiting
Reporting.
orders.
Ready and
Agreed.
waiting. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Waiting
Yes, sir.
order. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Very well. At once. At once. Agreed.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Acknowledged. At
Acknowledged.
once. Agreed.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Acknowledged.
Affirmative.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Agreed.
Report acknowledged.
Silos needed.
Waiting orders. Affirmative. Agreed.
Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Silos needed.
Affirmative.
Silos
Affirmative.
needed.
Vehicle report. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Very well. At once. Very well. Affirmative.
Awaiting
Acknowledged.
orders. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Building. Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting.
Construction
Acknowledged.
complete.
Acknowledged.
Insufficient funds.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Yes, sir. Of course.
Unit ready.
Of course.
New construction options. Building.
Yes, sir. Agreed. Yes, sir. Of course. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Very well. Reporting. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Our base is under attack.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Preparing. Building. Training. Unit ready.
Yes, sir. At once. Ready and waiting. Affirmative. Affirmative. At once. Affirmative.
Insufficient funds.
Reporting.
Construction
Acknowledged.
complete. New construction options.
Reporting.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Acknowledged.
Affirmative.
Building. Construction complete. Building. Construction complete.
Ready and waiting. At once. Affirmative.
Training. Unit ready.
Reporting. At once. Affirmative. Agreed. Reporting. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Building. Building.
Reporting. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Agree.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Construction
Acknowledged.
complete. Cannot deploy here.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit lost.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Very well.
Awaiting orders. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Acknowledged. Agreed. Very well.
Report. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Reporting. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Reporting. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Comrade. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Building.
Report. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Affirmative.
Reporting at once.
Battle control terminated.
Awaiting orders. Acknowledged. Yes, sir.
Unit
Acknowledged.
ready. Building.
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Ready and waiting. Affirmative. Reporting.
Report. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Reporting. Very well. At once. Very well. Agreed.
Awaiting orders. Acknowledged.
Acknowledged.
Unit
Agreed.
ready.
Affirmative. Very well. Agreed.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Reporting. Affirmative. Very well. Agreed.
Lost.
Awaiting orders. At once. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Building.
Acknowledged. At once. Reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Ready and waiting. Ready and waiting. Very well. Agreed. Affirmative. Agreed. Agreed. Affirmative. Very well. Affirmative. Very well. Affirmative. 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 Agreed. At once. Agreed. At once. At once.
Unit ready.
Yes, sir. At once. Affirmative. Ready and waiting. Comrade, acknowledged. Affirmative.
Building. On hold. Building.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Control slot withdrawn. Meltdown. Avert.
Ready and waiting. Very well. Agreed. Affirmative. Very well. Affirmative.
Unit
At
ready.
once. Very well.
Building.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Very well. Ready and waiting. Affirmative. Awaiting orders.
Unit lost. Unit
Yes,
ready.
sir. Affirmative.
Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. At once.
Reporting. Reporting. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Vehicle reporting.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Awaiting affirmative.
Awaiting orders. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Very well. Affirmative. Affirmative. At once.
Unit lost.
Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Very well. At once. Affirmative. Agreed. Affirmative. Agreed.
Unit lost.
Awaiting orders. At once.
Insufficient funds. Unit ready.
Comrade, acknowledged. Reporting. At once. Affirmative. Comrade, affirmative. Yes, affirmative.
Training. Unit ready. Training.
Reporting. At once. Agreed.
Unit
Waiting
ready.
affirmative. Very well. At once. At once. At once.
Building.
Ready and affirmative. Very well. Affirmative. Waiting order. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Agreed. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Affirmative. Very well. Affirmative. Agreed. Affirmative. At once. Very well. At once. Agreed. Affirmative. Very well. Very well. Very well.
Unit lost.
Waiting order. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Very well. At once. Very well. Reporting. Agreed. At once. Yes, sir. Agreed. Affirmative.
Construction complete.
Affirmative. Very well. Of course. Yes, sir. Very well. Affirmative. 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 At once. At once. Affirmative. At once. Very well. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Iron curtain charging. Low power. Building.
Vehicle report. Affirmative.
Reporting. Affirmative.
Report affirmative.
Construction
Yes,
complete.
sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Unit lost.
Comrade, acknowledged.
Building.
Reporting. Acknowledged.
Reporting. Affirmative.
Unit
Reporting.
lost.
Affirmative. Very well. Agreed. Yes, sir. Agreed. Affirmative. At once. At once.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready.
Yes, sir.
Vehicle report. Acknowledged. Vehicle report. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Reporting. Affirmative. At once. Affirmative. At once. Affirmative. At once. Agreed. Agreed.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Agreed. Agreed. At once. Agreed. Reporting. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit lost. Unit ready.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Training.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Comrade, acknowledged. Comrade,
Unit ready.
comrade, affirmative. Acknowledged. Comrade, acknowledged.
Yes, affirmative. Affirmative.
Building.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
New construction options. Primary
Waiting
building
order.
selected.
Acknowledged.
Comrade, affirmative.
Unit ready. Training. Unit ready.
Reporting. At once. Affirmative. Agreed. Affirmative. Agreed. At once. Agreed. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Reporting. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Awaiting or acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Iron curtain ready.
Acknowledged.
Report acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Awaiting or affirmative. Affirmative. Vehicle acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Reporting.
Silos needed.
Acknowledged.
Silos needed.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Training. Unit ready.
Vehicle affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Waiting order. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Reporting. At once. Affirmative. Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Reporting. Agreed. Affirmative. Very well. Very well.
Unit
Very
lost.
well. At once. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Reporting. At once.
Silence
Affirmative.
needed.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Building. Building.
Affirmative.
Construction complete.
Very well. At once. Affirmative.
Building. Construction complete.
Vehicle acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. At once. At once. Affirmative. Reporting. Acknowledged. Awaiting acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. 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 Affirmative.
Awaiting orders. Affirmative.
Select target.
Acknowledged.
Iron curtain.
Affirmative.
Charging.
Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit lost. Building.
Vehicle reporting.
Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged.
Our base is under attack. Preparing. Training. Unit ready. Training.
Ready and waiting.
Unit ready. Building.
Ready and waiting. Very well. At once. At
Unit
once.
lost. Training. On hold. On hold. Unit ready.
Awaiting
At
orders.
once.
Yes, sir.
Training. Our base is under attack.
Report affirmative.
Unit lost.
Very well. Yes, sir.
Unit ready.
Of course. Yes, sir. Agreed. Affirmative. Agreed. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Very well. Affirmative. Awaiting or acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit
Acknowledged.
lost.
Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Agreed. Affirmative. Ready and waiting. Very well. Very well. At once. Affirmative. Agreed. Very well.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Building.
Comrade, acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Awaiting orders. Agreed. Affirmative.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready.
Agreed. Affirmative. Agreed. Affirmative. At once. Affirmative. Very well. At once. Agreed. Agreed. At once. Affirmative. Affirmative. At once. Affirmative. Affirmative. At once. At once. Affirmative. Agreed. At once. Very well. Ready and waiting. Agreed. Affirmative. 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 At once. Affirmative. Very well. Affirmative. Very well. Agreed. Affirmative. Very well. At once.
Unit lost.
Agreed. Affirmative. Affirmative. Agreed. Very well. Affirmative.
Building.
Affirmative. At once. Affirmative. Affirmative. At once.
Iron curtain ready.
Reporting. Affirmative. Very well. Very well. Reporting. Very well.
Unit ready. Building.
Vehicle reporting.
Awaiting orders. Affirmative. Affirmative. Agreed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged.
Comrade. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit lost. Building. Unit ready. Building. Unit lost. Training. Unit
Medical
ready.
reporting.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready. Building.
Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Reporting. Affirmative.
Unit
Acknowledged.
ready.
Acknowledged.
Building.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Agreed.
Reporting. Acknowledged.
Awaiting orders. Once. Very well.
Unit
Agreed.
ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Waiting. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Comrade. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Comrade. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Sir.
Unit lost. Our base is
Yes,
under
sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
repairing. Building.
Comrade. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Construction complete.
Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Vehicle acknowledged. Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Unit lost. Unit lost.
Awaiting
yes, sir.
orders.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Vehicle
Yes, sir.
reporting.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Building.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Silos
Affirmative.
needed. Construction complete. Silos needed. Cancel. Building. Construction complete. Building.
Reporting.
Silos needed.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Construction complete.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Silos
Affirmative.
needed.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Silos needed. Building.
Comrade. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Construction complete.
Report. Affirmative.
Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Construction
Acknowledged.
complete. Cannot deploy here. New construction options.
Report. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Building.
Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting.
Unit ready.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Silos needed. Silos needed. Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Comrade. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Naval unit lost.
Awaiting orders.
Yes, sir.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Waiting.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Building.
Yes, sir.
Silos needed. Building.
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Construction
Affirmative.
complete.
Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Awaiting orders.
Affirmative.
Training. Upgrade complete.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Awaiting orders. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Acknowledged.
Cancel. Building.
Vehicle
Affirmative.
reporting.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Acknowledged.
Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Acknowledged. Waiting orders. Affirmative. Yes,
Unit
sir.
ready.
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Building.
Affirmative.
Preparing.
Comrade. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Report.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Comrade. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Reporting. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Control.
Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Building. Unit lost.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Building.
Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Reporting.
Unit lost.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir.
Awaiting
Acknowledged.
affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Unit
Vehicle
ready.
reporting.
Affirmative.
Building. On
Report
hold.
acknowledged.
Cancel.
Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit lost. Building. Unit lost. Unit lost.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Very well. Affirmative. Affirmative. Agreed. Affirmative. Very well.
Unit
Affirmative.
lost.
Vehicle reporting.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Report affirmative.
Unit
Acknowledged.
ready.
Report acknowledged.
Building.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Yes, reporting. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Training. Insufficient funds.
Yes, sir.
Waiting order. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Structure sold.
Waiting order. Vehicle reporting.
Affirmative.
Training. Structure sold.
Waiting order. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Engineering. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Comrade. Medic reporting. Moving out. Affirmative.
Engineering. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Vehicle
Acknowledged. 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 Acknowledged.
Medic
Yes, sir.
reporting. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Vehicle reporting.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Waiting order. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Engineering affirmative.
Mission accomplished.